Hey guys, Kaiser here. I recently joined Age of Empires 3 caster Dunamai over on ESOCTV to cast a best of 7 series between two of the strongest pro players in the game, JulianK and Frontline. And let me tell you, this was an amazing best of 7 series. Every single match was excellent, and the story that emerged over the course of the series was gripping. If I were you, I'd click the Twitch link in the description below and watch the whole series right now on the ESOC Twitch channel. But if you want to watch some of the highlights here on YouTube, I've got a few of what I think are the most interesting games I'm going to share right here on the channel. So if you want to watch some pro AoE 3 action, buckle in. For today's video, we're looking at Game 1 of the series. It's an Ottoman mirror match between the two players, and this game showcases just what kind of skills you need to be the best of the best at AoE 3.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. For those who just joined us, it is Game 1 between Frontline and JulianK, and Iron Kaiser, we have an Ottoman mirror.
Ottoman mirror match. Fascinating. Again, I was just talking, I normally see a lot of aggressive play from Ottomans. At least at the kind of the lower level or the mid-level, that's what's very common. A lot of, the old school Ottoman play was, of course, Janissary Rush. Do you think that we'll see a lot of aggressive play out of Russia here, or will we see maybe more economic focus?
So what I would say is that I would see two different takes on Ottoman being played, because as we say, JulianK is a monster in 3D. So if I was Frontline, I would not want to drag that for an hour-long game. I'm just going to get out-called, microed, and stuff like that. So I think we're going to see a very aggressive Frontline and a rather, not to be offensive to anyone, but more bottom-end JulianK with 3 TC and stuff.
Right.
That would be my guess.
Fascinating.
So
what map do we have here?
Yeah, so we are on the map Guyanas. So a map very lush with resources. You can see multiple hunts, quite some safe coin mines, even though you're still vulnerable to raid from the east and west. And also 2 trade roads that are honestly pretty far from your town center, so it's going to be a challenge to keep your TPs up. But we'll see how it goes.
Which I would imagine that would serve, if your analysis is right, it will probably help Frontline out a little bit more that these trade posts are so far removed. If JulianK wants to play the more passive or the more economic focused strategy, he's going to have to work hard to defend those trade posts so that he doesn't get left behind in the shipment game.
Yeah, definitely. Let's have a look at the decks real quick. We have something interesting going on for Frontline, because we have this bad boy over here, native treaties. So we did not talk about this, but Guyanas has a decent selection of native with Tupi and Caribs, and we do have both of them. So should you allow, you could get a decent selection of archer units at your disposal, and quite a bit of technologies helping your archers. I do not know if those technology would have the Azap, because
I believe they do. Azaps are considered, they're tagged as an archer unit. So I would say the 2P poison arrow, I believe that affects all archers. So yeah, that should affect the Azap.
And I think you also have the Caribs giving you essentially another infantry breastplate. I think it's this one. Yes. It's the attack. Sorry about that. It used to be the HP in Legacy, if I'm not mistaken.
So what you're saying is if one of these players can get control of a Tupi and a Carib settlement, you can have some extremely hard-hitting archers, and the Azap is one of the most effective archers in the game.
Well, it's a very special kind of archer, obviously, because it mainly counters dragoons, but it's the only one Ottoman can reliably get, other than, obviously, the natives that they get should they choose. If we look at JulianK's deck, we do see palace intrigue and a lot of resource crates, so we might go for an FI on JulianK's part. I don't know. What do you think about it?
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing as well. You see a lot of resource crates, a lot of, again, a very strong economic focus. I think your analysis is exactly right. I would expect a fast imp from him. Again, probably in contrast to a more aggressive play from Frontline. I think you nailed it.
So, for those who would want more precision, as we see JulianK opting for the grid here, the new Ottoman FI strategy with Church gives you, if I'm not mistaken, 2 Great Bombards and 4, I think it's 4 or 5 Spahi that do Shadow Tech to H4, as well as, if I'm not mistaken, 15 or 16 Nizam Fusilier, which are essentially super musketeer that can counter or resist different units when you change stances. For example, if you're in staggered mode, they have siege resist. If you're in stand ground mode, they have more range to counter other musketeers and stuff like that.
Right. They are elite musketeer. Very effective units, and I would expect, if you're going to go with that fast imp strategy, that we will see a lot of Nizam. That would make sense.
It definitely looks like it. Maybe a semi-FI, because we have 700 coin coming behind it. But a full food and coin macro. As we see those Azaps, so we might see what we said, Azaps being buffed by the technologies for...
That would be so cool. I'd love to see that.
Because we have Carib Blowgunner, 2P Blackbeard Archers, and Azaps. And all of these guys are archers, but they act wildly differently from each other. The Carib has actually a multiplier versus all infantry, making it very potent against curves. And the 2P is like your standard skirmisher, and the Azap is essentially a suit-up pikeman and crossbowman combo.
What an amazing composition that you have those 3 units covering each other's weaknesses, but then all benefiting from the same technologies. That's a great unit composition.
And Frontline being very vigilant not to lose villagers right there, while he decides to pressure the TP. We're talking about these TP very far from the TC.
And yeah, definitely. Raids coming in here for from JulianK. Which is interesting because we're actually seeing, I guess, the aggression. I guess I wasn't expecting aggression from him quite as much, but it does seem like they're both trading. Frontline taking on the trade post and successfully knocking that down, moving on for more targets, while JulianK also trying to put on pressure with a Hussar. It goes to show that you can't just sit back and boom, and he's a very good player. He knows that. You've got to... you have to put on pressure while trying to advance up to the next stage.
So one difference to note is that Frontline had all 20 villagers inside of that TC. JulianK is very patient. He doesn't have even 10 because he wants to two-shot the units, and he knows that would be overkill. So he just has 9, really maximizing the efficiency of those settlers.
Every last resource counts. That's right.
Especially in a mirror, obviously.
Let me ask you a map question as we see this develop. We have the trade posts along the flanks, but in the center, I guess we have the native tribes. We have a couple of coin mines, gold mines. But do you think that map control is relatively more important or less important on a map like this?
It's a tough question to answer because map control gives you the access to those TPs, right? Because if you don't really control the map, you can just be run around and lose your TPs. At the same time, the center of the map is really important if you're Frontline, for example, because, well, pretty much half of your strategy depends on it.
Big fight here. Ooh. So we're seeing, what is this? We've got the Azap and the Carib Blowgunners, the 2Ps, versus Bashipozuk, Delis.
So something really important to note is that JulianK actually called for those Bashibu Zooks, which means he won't have those anymore. So
Right.
the thing is, JulianK is now up to age 3. He aged up with the sharpshooter, the marksman, sorry, and he now has access to Abel's gunner, and obviously to very, very powerful shipments. Sending right now 8 Janissaries. We might even see vet Janissaries coming up right after this pop of Janissaries. Frontline, on the other hand, is also macroing for age up. I would expect an exiled prince. Exactly, he needs to catch up. And Frontline has quite the chokehold on the map right now. The question is, will it be enough against a 3D player?
Right. Right. One thing that I find interesting, I want to highlight this really quickly, is that the Abus gunner, normally it's produced out of the Siege Workshop, right? And of course, it's a very effective skirmisher unit. It is tagged as infantry, so our Tupi, our Carib units, will be doing bonus damage against them, even as they take bonus damage from them. I wonder if that'll make a difference in the fight here. I wanted to ask you this question. We've got a comment from Shake saying something for the casters to note. Frontline is a phenomenal team player, so he doesn't mind if this game goes long. My question to you is, what sort of things do you think having that team game experience, the skills that would lend itself to this best of 7 series, how do you think that'll impact the way Frontline plays?
Well, it depends on the side of the teams, but obviously some team games can go much longer than your average 1v1. I would give the advantage to JulianK simply because your 3D game cannot go below 40 minutes. But team is also sometimes about momentum, masses being in someone else's base, making sure they cannot mass up. So if Frontline gets the momentum, I think we could see very interesting thing out from him. But other than that, if the game goes too long, I gotta give it to the number 1 3D player in the world. Like, there's no question in my mind about that. From
Right, that makes sense.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say it's interesting to bring that up because I do think we are definitely seeing a play for the momentum here. JulianK building up a nice, solid Janissary line here.
So
backed up by Abases. Classic.
JulianK, I don't think that JulianK saw the Falconets, even though I think he suspects they are on the way. 2 Falconet shipment being obviously one of the strongest in the game. He does have 2 Falconets of his own. Archery Micro, again, a specialty of 3D players. So I would love to see how this Falcor is going to go. And keep in mind, Frontline lost access to this Carib settlement, which means his whole strategy could basically collapse of this full Archer strategy if he does not get back to this, because this is a 2P settlement and there's no way he's getting this. So we might see a battle for the middle right now.
Are we able to zoom out a little bit and see a little bit more of the big picture?
So as we have a wonderful shot from JulianK.
All right. Oh, nice. That's huge.
So
losing that Falconet.
1, and JulianK being content to just sit back, not pressing the momentum. I guess he will stay around this Carib settlement. Not even then. All right. Ooh, as we have Spahis coming up. Does JulianK see it? JulianK is not paying attention right now. But Frontline decided not to attempt the impossible and snag this Falconet out of JulianK's army. What is Frontline doing? Frontline is researching the 2P Forest Burning, researching also the TP line upgrade, so we can get resources from them. ASAP seems to be the play for him, and he's still going that direction. 20 ASAPs, and quite a selection of archers, of native archers, but it would not seem he's going to go for a lot more archers right now. He's really messing up those ASAPs.
Just want to jump in as we are in the middle of the third age here. I'm running a prediction. Who is going to take game one at this point? Frontline or JulianK? Put in your votes. Got about 20 seconds left.
Ooh. As you can see, also something very interesting. Those guys were buffed in the recent patch, and now they don't have, almost have no frame delay. So they are much more efficient at kiting than they used to be. They used to have like the equivalent of a longbowman's animation. And this unit has been buffed repeatedly. My guess would be in an attempt to move Ottoman player away from this double racks Jan rush you were talking about. That is basically the bread and butter of the Ottomans.
As we're looking at an Ottoman rush here, or an Ottoman mirror match, what is the consensus about the current state of the Ottomans with the most recent patch? Are people excited for the buffs that the Ottomans have received? Do they seem to be in a good spot right now?
And I think, you know, this question is a hot topic right now in Age of Empire 3. But I would say that some people are not especially fond of Ottomans receiving buff while being an admittedly easy-ish civilization to play. Obviously, in another mirror, that doesn't matter, but it's often understood that the civilization tend to be a bit easier given to the fact that your villagers are trained automatically and that your units are pretty much, self-reliant, I would say. You won't lose a unit just because you look the other way for 2 seconds, just if you spam maybe Abel's Gunner, should you have this problem.
It seems to me like Frontline's doing a lot of damage here as he's moved into JulianK's base, gotten Vil kills, destroying a lot of the infrastructure. Is this the momentum he needs to take this win?
I think it is, yeah. I think you're right, definitely, if he finds that group of villagers, JulianK is in a whole world of hurt. And keep in mind, he doesn't have a lot of room to trade because those AZAP are right around the corner.
It looks like he's trying to pull back, preserve the strength of his army. Those Vils, I don't know if he saw them or not, but they definitely seem to have gotten away.
Yeah, I don't think he did, even though he can reasonably suspect there were villagers going around.
It looked to me like he must have missed it by a hair's breadth. That close to let the Vils get away.
Also, something interesting to note is that Frontline is all in on that ASAP strategy. How many ASAPs does he get? He has 42 ASAPs and 6 delis that are coming on the way. I think he forgot about them. That's very unfortunate. As we see excellent spacking micro from Frontline, losing the Falk War but winning the Cob War. There's just 3 Spahi left, 3 to 3. Unfortunately, the ASAP's not firing away. But JulianK losing a lot of villagers. JulianK at 18 to Frontline's 28. So if Frontline can hold this, he has a very powerful economic lead.
And we do see all raids going in from Frontline in the base, yeah.
And Frontline going for the small play, just killing the houses. Keep in mind, when you are attacking Ottoman players, housing an Ottoman player is pretty much effectively killing his villagers because he can't make other villages if he's housed. So it's the strategy you see a lot of high-level players do against a lot of Civ, but especially the Ottomans. $32 AZAPs, let's compare that to JulianK's 4 Abel's Gunners and 35 Janissaries. So keep in mind the Janissaries are obviously beefier than the Azaps, but where the Janissary shines by its versatility, the Azap is faster and has more range. So we could see some good kiting happening.
It would also be the case that the Azap are going to be a little bit stronger against Cav units. Isn't that right? That the Janissaries are kind of a better all around.
Yes, yes, obviously.
But like in this Mamluk fight, yeah, it's going to be really nice that he's got Azap.
Also, keep in mind the Azap have varying resistance. They have range resist in their range attack form, and they have melee resist in their melee attack form. So maybe we'll see it if you look closely. You have range resist right there.
Right.
And will he switch? These guys have melee resists.
This is one of the cool features that have recently been added in to Definitive Edition, the adaptable resistances. And I think it's really exciting because it just encourages and rewards that extra level of micro play and control. It's really exciting to see these pro players being able to use those tools to just squeeze that much more potential out of their armies.
Definitely, yeah. We have a good sandwich happening right now, I think. But I don't know if Frontline has the power to just make that encirclement happen. So I don't really know if... Like, Frontline has the right strategy, but I don't know if he has the power to hold it right now.
Well, he's definitely going to try to make something happen here.
Frontline...
Falconet. No way that Falconet survived. Yeah, that goes down.
But as this is happening, there is a raid from JulianK. JulianK and 21 villagers. Frontline still on 30, but losing quite a few. And it would seem that the ASAP carry on and keep kiting. This was the kiting I was talking about. You can have this moment of going back, using your superior speed, unleashing a volley right there, and just moving away. Keep in mind, though, that the Abus gunners make that obviously more difficult. As we have the 2P Poison Arrow frogs coming up, so these ASAP will be much, much stronger if the trading post survive this.
He's moving forward into the Abus Gunner's line of fire. Oh, and JulianK backing up from that, it looks like?
Yeah, I don't think JulianK really wants to sacrifice his army, because keep in mind, this is so much easier to replace than this. Like, this is 150 resources, and this is like 90. And the same goes for all the Janissaries. So, Frontline really making use of this new ASAP unit.
It's really exciting to see this unit get used. Definitely committing to a fight here, and it's hard to tell whether JulianK is pulling back or just kiting and trying to draw Frontline deeper and deeper into the middle of the map for some kind of flank. He's got to make sure he doesn't overcommit.
There wouldn't seem to be any flank happening right now, but you're right about the fact that Frontline is preparing Delhi. So he's definitely looking to this flank. And I wanted to point out the poison arrow, the poisoned frog arrow. Just came up. This is 12 at 1.5 rate of fire, and this is 24 at 3. So the Azaps have the same DPS as Janissaries, all while costing, I think it's 20 or 30% less. So really nice strategy on Frontline's part. As we see a wonderful pop of Delhi's, this Mameluke is not long for this world. He needs to be focused though. Fortunately, Frontline being a bit carried away, and unfortunately loses his Delhi for not really a whole lot. Mamluks are out of the way, which is very nice for...
Both players losing the cap here. So now it's just Janissary versus Azap, right? With a couple of Abyss guns in the back?
Yes, the Abyss gun doing a whole lot of heavy lifting. And keep in mind, JulianK has no artillery foundry. So this is just shipments, maybe? No, it's just the marksman. Just the age of politician.
What is the economic situation right now between the two players?
So, we have 34 villagers for Frontline against 25 for JulianK. Please tell me... Oh, this is huge! Frontline destroyed JulianK's mosque. So he stayed as 25 villagers this whole time because he didn't have the resources to make that mosque. Oh, that feels so bad.
And so my read on that is the military battles have been more or less even. It's felt a little bit like JulianK was winning for a while, and then Frontline was winning for a while, but they've traded more or less evenly. But economically, Frontline has had an edge that may snowball later on in the game. Would you agree with that?
Mm-hmm. That very well be the case, but keep in mind those two falconets mean business, and Frontline, well, right now he just has the 5 delis, and those delis, but those delis are doing an incredible job killing JulianK's Explorer, killing the town center. That was almost done. You see the 12-second here, so it was about 90% done. So he's gonna lose essentially all of the wood here required to do that, to do it. These Azap are being caught out. They are much less tanky than their Janissary counterparts. The two falconets here getting a bit of value, not that much value.
Not that much, but boy, are they intimidating.
The TC going down, 24 villagers for JulianK. Frontline recognizing that this is where essentially a third of JulianK's eco is. While Frontline is just happy to keep on spamming Azaps. Frontline really confident in his ability to spam these guys. Keep in mind he didn't do the second wood upgrade. I would have loved to see that second wood upgrade. These guys cost quite a bit of wood, and wood is famously slow resources to gather. You can see 0.55 compared to a hunt at 1.26.
I'm really surprised that we aren't seeing JulianK basically moving the villagers away from that the northwestern position. It seems like if Frontline noticed that, and I thought he had, there could be a real... And I think we even see the delis moving up to hit those villagers right now. That's going to be really big to his eco, if I'm not mistaken. Yep,
yes.
There they are.
They're here while this battle's happening. Cavalcher will, I think, come too late. Ooh, maybe I spoke too soon. 1, 2, 3, maybe 4. Maybe he'll grid a 5th. And I think it's time to go back for those delis. Another raid coming here. JulianK, 18 units, villagers, compared to Frontline 38. So JulianK, the 3D player, is now on a timer because he has the army right now. Army's obviously better with those more expensive units, but he won't be able to keep that up for long. As we have this explorer slowly working away at the trading post. Like, come on guys, give him a hand. That's cruel at that point. Like, nope, have fun buddy, we're out. Alright.
You do you. I'm trying to remember. One of the aspects that came with the most recent patch is that the explorers were updated with a small, unique feature. Wasn't it the Ottoman explorer that received a little bit of additional siege damage?
It was the Russian one, if I remember correctly. I think the Ottoman one had a bit more HP, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
As we have a potential surround for the veteran Delhi. This Falcon is going down. I don't think the other one will. He's trying.
One Falcon down.
Wonderful job from the Janissaries trying to protect, but this Falcon is going down. This is a wonderful surround from Frontline.
Amazing.
I think this is GG. I think Frontline takes game 1. Unless JulianK takes out something absolutely incredible off of his playbook, but I don't think Cavalry Archer will be the play, especially when your opponent has 27 dedicated counter to that unit.
Exactly. Yeah, what do you build here? You don't have a Siege Workshop, right? Your economy is half the opponent's economy.
He did one. He actually did one afterwards.
I'm sorry, you're right. No, he did get that up earlier, but even so, I mean, you can't really go...
Oh, and that's going to be bloodbath.
Yeah, no, that's just not...
Yes, and JulianK calling it, as predicted, really well played from Frontline to take this almost half an hour long game in this Ottoman mirror. What did you think about that game, Kaiser?
I got to give you credit, Dynamite. You called it. This was a battle, I think, between economy and momentum, and Frontline was able to get that momentum and just absolutely catch the economy of JulianK by surprise. They kind of battled each other, a little bit of probing attacks here and there, but Frontline was just able to take that momentum. He's able to take advantage, and what patience from both players. These skirmishes where just a few units picked off here, a few there. JulianK started out by getting that Falconet kill, and we had people saying GG back then, like it's over. He won this, and but Frontline able to kind of keep his cool, come back, snipe units here and there, and just slowly get that snowball rolling. That was some really impressive play here in Game 1 of a best-of-7 series.